Alrighty, so the video for today, what we're going to talk about is going to be Operation Be Less Fat. Now, in Operation Be Less Fat, I'm going to stop eating donuts so often, and I'm going to start showing you guys workouts instead of donuts. And I don't know, I thought that might be fun, so here we go. Alrighty, so I did a poll on the YouTube channel the other day where I asked people if you'd be interested in watching me work out and do kind of a video series on getting less fat rather than watching me eat donuts. It got pretty positive review, and I found that there's a lot of people that just don't really care about watching me donuts. I completely understand that because I don't know that I would watch myself. It was just kind of a series that I did kind of tongue in cheek. I thought it would be funny. And I think it was. I think it was still a good series, but I don't blame people for not watching it. They were also the least watched videos on the channel. This series, I'm not sure if it's going to be any better, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's my channel. I can do what I want. So, a little bit of backstory on why I'm going to do this. Well, I'll give you the more immediate sense first. Since I've started this YouTube channel, what's it been? 7-8 months now, maybe 9 months. I've gained some weight. I've gotten a little bit chubby. A lot of that has been because I was eating donuts every week, and there's a fair amount of that due to other factors. I've been dealing with some injuries and stuff like that. And recently, I feel pretty healthy. My injuries are still kind of nagging, but I can deal with them. And I don't know, I feel pretty good. I really want to kind of buckle down, get myself back in shape for summer, and I can't do that if I'm going to be eating donuts the way I was eating them. So I want to give a little bit of backstory on kind of my fitness journey, if you will. I'd mentioned in a video before that I had this foot chase with a guy who was much bigger than me, much younger than me, back in like 2014, 2015. And that encounter kind of inspired me to get back in shape because I had kind of let myself go. I've got a picture here. This is what I looked like back then. So if you're looking at this picture, this is a picture of kind of fat me. This is something that happens to a lot of police officers, and there's a variety of reasons for it. It's not like I don't know how to be in shape. I was in the military for a long time, and then got in shape for the police academy. When I was in the academy, I actually lost like 20 pounds or so. This picture here was a couple years after I'd been on the department, and I had gained probably 35 pounds since the academy. And some of the reasons for that is, you get into working shift work, you go work third shift, and you're eating gas station food and fast food in the middle of the night. It's really hard to get a proper diet. Your sleep schedule is all mixed up. I would work a lot of special duty gigs. So I would work 11 at night to 7 in the morning. And then I would meet a construction crew at 7:30, 8 in the morning. And then I would work with a crew paving a road until 3 in the afternoon. And then I would go home, sleep 4 or 5 hours if I was lucky, and then get up and go back to work. I did that a couple times a week. So my sleep schedule was all jacked up. My diet was all jacked up. I wasn't getting proper exercise. And I don't know, that's just a really bad combination. Another thing about this particular picture is that it's not simply all because of police work, but this picture was taken after I started to get back in shape. So I was actually chubbier possibly before this picture was taken. But gosh, look how big my chin is. It's like out to here. I was gearing up to attempt a 500-pound deadlift for the first time in my life. And I was eating all the time and lifting very heavy all the time. And for me, I believe that's what I needed to do. And I still think that little bulking phase that I went through was important for the physique that I have today. Because I did pack on a lot of muscle, and that muscle has not gone anywhere. It's just, man, I was really chubby when I did that. So went from there. I started dieting, and I did a variety of diets over the years. I've done stuff where This is kind of what I'm doing now. I just try to avoid eating sweets and try to eat healthy whole foods, not eat prepackaged, mass-produced foods and stuff like that. And then I went and I did the paleo diet for a while. When my wife was pregnant with the kid, she had gestational diabetes, so we had to really be careful about our carbs and sugars and stuff like that. So I did paleo for a while, and then we went and did the keto diet for a while. I really enjoyed the keto diet, but one of the things I also enjoy doing is lifting heavy. And when you're on keto, you don't really have that ability. I'm not going to get into the science of it, but it's just a thing. But so I started to get in shape, and I've got a picture here. Where is that at? Oh, this one. This is kind of what happened after I made a conscious decision to start getting in shape. And I think I was on the keto diet at that time. I would get up. What would I eat for breakfast? I think I was eating the same thing for breakfast. Yeah. And for almost for dinner every single night. For breakfast, I would get up and have an omelet with like 5 eggs. And I would put salsa and a whole avocado on top of that. And that would be my breakfast. And then I would go to the gym, because I was on third shifts back then. Go to the gym, come home, have a dinner that was mostly red meat. I bought a lot of that packaged stew meat, like cubed meat, and I would cook it in the crock pot. So you had this like super fatty beef concoction, and I would have some vegetables with that or something. And then I would go to work, and the only thing I would have for my meal at work that night would be a protein shake with, I put coconut oil in it. I put butter, like Kerrygold grass-fed butter. I'd put like a tab of butter like that thick in my protein shake, and I would put all the dry ingredients in there, and then I would go to work, and every single night I would go to McDonald's. And the McDonald's that I would go, well, I started off going to White Castle, but then the White Castle employees left, and the new White Castle employees sucked. They weren't keeping the coffee hot. So then I started going to McDonald's, and it was funny because they recognized my voice every night, and they'd be like, "All right, hon, come on around." And I'd come around and get my coffee. I'd go around the corner, dump my hot coffee in my protein shake, shake it up, and it would melt all the butter and stuff, and I would drink it. And then when I got home from work, I would have the same thing I had for breakfast, which was like a 5-egg omelet with salsa and a bunch of avocado. That's how I went from the first chubby picture, which is right here, to this picture here. I did keto. And then once I got my body to kind of this point, I thought, you know what? I'm approaching 40 years old, and I want to kind of take it to the next level. I want to see how trim I can get. So when I did that, I got on the Renaissance Periodization Diet app. This is an app that costs $15 a month, but it's really handy. You can put in all your stats about like what you do for the day, your weekly schedule, how many meals you'd like to eat, that kind of stuff. And it will actually tell you when to eat your meals, and it'll give you your macros for each meal. So it'll say 25 grams of carbs, 10 grams of fat, 30 grams of protein, whatever. And you can even scan your barcodes on your food. It'll tell you how much of that particular piece of food to put in your meal, that kind of stuff. And it's designed, you'll put in like an 8-week diet, and it'll tell you your goal is to lose, based on the information you have, 11 pounds during that time. When you're going through that 8 weeks, if you're not meeting your goals, the diet will automatically adjust. And the people who are on the diet, often when you go for a while without losing weight, they call it going in the hole because the diet will just max, like it'll cut your carbs out of your diet altogether. So you're kind of starving, but that's what you have to do to go from this point right here to where is this other picture? To this point right here. So this was in 2020. This was probably just about the best shape I've been in as an adult. I weighed 211 pounds in this picture, and I was in pretty good shape. I felt good. This was also kind of during the riots and stuff. So this was a combination of working 12-hour shifts, not eating. I was getting a lot of exercise because we were wearing all that gear, walking up and down the road, chasing people who were throwing Molotov cocktails at us. But also, I stayed committing to working out during that time. The gyms were all shut down. But I started doing home workouts, and I was doing more like CrossFit type stuff, or I would get on the rower. I would do weird exercises like farmer carries where I'd walk around my whole block. And my block is, it's right about a third of a mile. So I'd grab 45-pound plates and go for a walk. And you'd be surprised how tired your arms get. Your forearms are just smoked. But I was doing that kind of stuff, and I got in this kind of shape. And then I actually did get it dialed down a little bit tighter. But my wife told me I'm not allowed to post that picture. So if you think this was me skinny, I lost another 5 or 6 pounds on top of that. I was very dry, and you could actually see some like veins and stuff like that. But I'm not allowed to show that picture. So anyway, I've been there before, and I would like to get back in there again. I'm just not there right now. So where am I right now? I do have a picture. That's not it. But you guys might not see all these pictures. Here we go. This is the picture of what I look like right now. So I can put that up against this picture. So I'll have one on one side of my head and one on the other side of my head. And I'm not in horrible shape. I still have, I don't know, for me, I have large muscles. You can still see an outline of my abs. I'm not severely obese, but I'm a little bit thick, a little bit thicker than I would like to be. If you look down kind of around my hip area, that's kind of where all the pudge is, kind of down here in my love handles in my back. And people might say that I'm being overly critical of myself, and I understand that perspective. The problem is I'm a police officer, and I have to wear a uniform, and my uniform is the same size regardless of how big I get underneath it. I've got a belt that the belt only adjusts so much. I do have a flexible belt, and it's Velcro, but for some reason you try to make it this much bigger, and it feels like it's going to fall off. And then you try to tighten it up just a hair back, and it goes back to the way it was. I don't know. It's like impossible to adjust. And then with your body armor, you go in and they measure you with a tape measure, and they custom design this bulletproof vest to fit over your body. And it's on your clothes. It's a concealed kit. It's supposed to be tight and slender. When you put on this much extra of you on either side of your body, it makes that stuff very uncomfortable. It makes it very hard to fit into. And my problem is that my back is wide and my chest is pretty big. So little changes really mess up the way that fits. And I have to keep it tight so that the panels don't come unlocked, because when they come undone, they'll do this thing, and then they'll crimp up on the side of my body, and I'll have my body armor, instead of being overlapped on my side like this, it'll be sticking out, and I'll have that on both sides, and it's really frustrating. And then it'll overlap the wrong way, and there's a lot of bad things that happen. So my goal is to go from this back down to this. And it's not just for my uniform and stuff. I can tell you, I feel a little bit better when I'm a little bit trimmer. I sweat a little bit less, which is important because we're going into summer. And not only that, but I'm taking the kids down to Disney this summer. So I don't want to sweat my ass off and look like a disgusting pig everywhere I go down to Disney, even though that's not that unusual. And I wanted to give you guys an update, because to be honest, the weight gain hasn't all been from eating donuts. I wanted to talk about that for a second too. I've mentioned before in videos that I've got bone spurs in my elbows, and that actually stopped me from lifting for a while. So I would just come home and I would use the rower, or I would try to lift, but I would lift lighter, and I was trying to work around it. Well, then one day I got in a foot chase. It was a guy that jumped out of a stolen car. I ran up and I tackled him, and it's hard to do with my microphone, but when we went down, my elbow was the thing that hit the ground first. So I did have to deal with some injuries during that time. Here's what my elbow looked like after I tackled that guy. It was pretty painful. I ended up going to the emergency room for that after a few days, because it was incredibly painful. Every time I walked by, if I walked by the wall and I just barely grazed it with my elbow, it would almost drop me in my knees. It hurt a lot. And they looked at it and they said, yeah, there's some bone fragments in there, but basically nothing that we can do. So I've just had to deal with it and let that kind of calcify. I believe that's what happens. Kind of calcify over the bone. And maybe some of that bone would just get dissolved in your body, but it takes some time and it sucked. Here's an angle of my elbow the day that it got hurt. So before the bruising started, you can see the one on the left is the one that got hurt. The one on the right is the normal one. So you can see that big raised section there. So funny thing was, I was like, okay, I'm not going to go to the gym. I didn't want to go to the gym and just do legs because that would be weird. My legs are already pretty big. I have a hard time fitting them into jeans. Like my jeans, I have to buy jeans that the waist is way bigger because my legs are too big for my jeans. And I didn't want to exacerbate that problem. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to row 10,000 meters a day, 4 days a week. That's going to be my workout. Well, the problem is I started doing that, and then I developed this giant blister on my heel. I could feel it when I was rowing, but I just kept going. And I ended up peeling that thing off. And when I put a Band-Aid on my foot and I tried rowing again, well, that was also a bad idea because that blister, that Band-Aid, as soon as I started rowing, it just went whoop right up under my foot, and it did not do anything to protect me. So that was my heel after doing another 10K row. But you can see I got to a point where I couldn't use my arms and I couldn't row. The only thing I could really do was go for walks. I mean, I could have gone to the gym and gotten on a stair climber or something like that, but that just sounded horrible. And that stair climber that's a son of a bitch. I didn't want to do that. So I went through a period of time where I was eating a lot of donuts and I wasn't exercising very well. So I've gained, there's some fat down here. You guys can't see it. I'm not going to show you to right now, but it's there and I want it to go away. So the plan is, on Fridays, you're going to get some kind of fitness related video. I've got some videos planned where I've already taken my camera to the gym and recorded a full workout, a full leg workout. And then today, actually, I recorded a full upper body workout. So I've got a couple of those workouts kind of planned. The problem is recording an entire workout is kind of difficult to do. I did my leg workout. I took my camera to the gym. So here's what my camera setup looks like at the gym. It draws a lot of attention, and I'm not trying to be inconsiderate to people that are at the gym. And also, in order to get kind of my whole body and everything in the frame, I have to take up a lot of space. And that isn't very considerate to people either. So like there's an exercise that should be going in the background now where this was probably 8-10 feet away from me, and this was taken on my cell phone. And you can't see my whole body in the video. So it takes a lot of space to do that kind of stuff, and it's inconsiderate, and other people are looking at the camera. They're aware the camera's there. They don't want to walk in front of you. They don't want to walk around you. So you actually take up a giant area of the gym just by setting up a camera. And I don't want to be that guy. And plus everyone's looking at me and they're like, who the hell is this guy? Like, he doesn't look like anything. Why is he recording himself? Like I'm some kind of Instagram hoe or something like that. So I'm going to keep that stuff down to a minimum. What I might do is record some of my, like one superset per day, or my gym finishers. Like occasionally I'll do some HIIT training, which is like high intensity interval training. I'll do that at the end of a workout if I don't feel like I got enough calories burned in that workout. So if I do some of those things, I'll get that on video, either with my cell phone or with the camera that's out in front of me right now. I don't know. We will see. But I've got recorded myself making my protein pancakes the other day. I'm going to see if I can turn that into a video. I'll show you my meal prep. I've been making the same meal prep for a couple of years now, so I've got it down to a pretty legit science. And I'll also show you kind of like a couple of, what do you call that? A whole day of eating. I won't be able to record myself all day, but I'll at least show you what's in my lunchbox and kind of why I plan that stuff. And I'll go through what I ate when I wasn't at lunch, because I can't record myself eating every meal because I'm at work and I can't be recording myself in uniform at work. But I don't know. This should be an interesting series. I'll tell you that my My weight in the one picture, I'll pull it back up. My weight in that picture was 211 pounds. My weight this morning was 231.4 pounds. So if I can get down into the 220s before in the next 8 to 10 weeks, I'll be very happy with that. And hopefully you guys stick around and kind of play along. I don't know. What do you guys think? So I'll leave it at that. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this next video series. I will talk to you guys soon.